together. Breaking news now. We're taking you to Prince George's County with the announcement of an arrest of a rapist, a possible rapist. Let's listen in.
Our detectives identified a suspect last night and obtained an arrest warrant for 48-year-old James William Diggs of the 5200 block of Newton Street in Bladensburg. Within the last hour, our fugitive squad captured Diggs in Waldorf. He was arrested without incident, and he is currently at headquarters being interviewed. As of a few minutes ago, Diggs has now been identified as a suspect in last week's sexual assault in Bladensburg. Diggs is also considered a person of interest in 2 additional cases. Deputy Chief Hector Velez, who is in charge of the Bureau of Investigation, will provide some details on all 4 of these sexual assaults. Deputy Chief?
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming out. What I'd like to do is give you a brief overview of the sexual assault investigations that the Prince George's County Police Department has been conducting. And we'll start with this past Wednesday at approximately 8:15 p.m. Our victim was walking along the 3800 block of 38th Avenue in Cottage City, when she was approached by our suspect and forced into a secluded area at knife point. Shortly after that occurring, the suspect sexually assaulted the victim and then fled. At that point, the Prince George's County Police Department was notified and we assumed investigative responsibility. As many of you are aware, and as Ms. Parker has stated, the Prince George's County Police Department has been investigating 3 sexual assaults that occurred within close proximity. The latest one to occur prior to this occurred on February 25th at approximately 7:20 p.m. And again, our victim was walking, at which point she was approached and forced to a secluded area and sexually assaulted. Prior to that, the incident occurred on October 20th at 8:45 p.m. in the 5800 block of Annapolis Road in Cheverly. Similar to the previous incidents, this victim was walking, at which point she was approached and forced to a secluded area and sexually assaulted. The first incident that occurred back in September 8th at approximately 6:45 p.m. In this particular incident, the victim was walking along the 5100 block of Quincy Street in Bladensburg, at which point she was approached, forced to a secluded area, and sexually assaulted. Based on what we have managed to put together so far with these investigations, we noticed a couple things, and that is the proximity of these sexual assaults that took place, the fact that all of the sexual assaults occurred between 6:45 p.m. and 8:45 p.m., and the physical descriptions that were given were similar in all of the cases. Right from the point of the very first sexual assault, our sexual assault unit has been investigating this case. The first 2 cases from September and October were being investigated thoroughly, and February 25th is when the 3rd one occurred, and that's when we started to gather some more information, and that led to this 4th incident in which we were able to solidify some facts and obtain a warrant for Mr. Diggs' arrest.
Can you share what led you to Mr. Diggs?
At this point, this investigation is fluid. There are a lot of things we're working on. There are a number of municipalities that are involved. So I'm not going to go into the details as to what led us to obtain the warrant for Mr. Diggs. But again, as I stated before, the proximity of the crimes, the times, the basic description. And I will note one thing, is that the last incident that occurred on Wednesday was a little bit further out from the 3 other incidents. And I believe it's because of the amount of pressure and presence from the Prince George's County Police Department and our municipal partners that may have forced him outside of that area. As many of you know, we had gathered previous Friday to hand out flyers in the area, reached out to the community, and again, we've been working with our municipal partners in order to bring this investigation to a successful conclusion.
So, Chief, this is a guy who you believe probably committed 4 assaults. You got to feel pretty good about getting him off the street. I mean, the 2 sort of serial criminals this week. What do you think would have happened next? I mean, how important? What an emphasis to be put on this week?
Well, it's very important. If you look at the first 2 instances, they were September 8th and October 20th, so there's considerable time in between. And then the third one occurred on February 25th, and now this one. So, yes, we are very pleased that we managed to get him off the streets, and that's due to the fine work of the men and women of the Prince George's County Police Department and our partnerships with our municipal partners. But I don't want to speculate as to what might have happened if we didn't, but I'm just glad that we did.
The very nature of this crime is horrific, but I mean, when you talk about this guy seemed like a pretty brutal guy. Somebody, knife to the throat. Talk about what he was up to? Yes, any sexual assault we treat as a priority. Any sexual assault is brutal, whether it's physical or mentally. This individual obviously preyed on young women. The ages of the victims were between 16 and 23 years old. He, followed. We believe he followed 1 or 2 on occasion. So he knew what he was doing, and he was very deliberate in what he was doing. He does have a record. The last we're showing is an arrest in 1982. It's believed that he committed considerable time. Was in prison for committed 1982 robbery, and I believe it was first-degree assault.
So you say he had prison time for that?
Correct. Considerable amount of time. Sorry. But in terms of sexual assaults, no priors for sexual assaults. He is not listed as a sexual offender, and anything that would have led us to believe that.
Press release says he is charged with first-degree rape. Is it 1 count, or now are you adding to that?
Well, with the case that occurred on the 25th, yes, we will be filing charges for that as well.
And if I could just follow up on my colleague Barry Bell's question, would you call him a serial rapist?
Well, at this point, he's a strong person of interest. We're charging him on the 2. He's a strong person of interest for the other 2. So at this point, I'm not going to comment on that. We've got a lot to do in terms of investigations and pulling facts together.
Can you give a timeline of how long normally it might take to upgrade in the first 2 cases with a person of interest to a suspect?
No, I can't give a time frame.
One more question?
Do you guys have any explanation on why between October and February there were no incidents whatsoever?
We're looking into that. We don't show him as being incarcerated at this point. So, like I said, there's a lot of legwork to try to figure out exactly who this person is, where he has been.
Any thought he's been active elsewhere?
At this point, no. We're reaching out to our partners in the D.C. and Baltimore area, just to ensure.
What about his home life? Family members in danger?
I'm sorry?
His home life, his father, husband, anyone in danger?
No, we don't believe anyone else is in danger, and I don't have any information about his personal life in terms of family.
Is there a possibility that he could be responsible for any more arrests?
No, at this point we don't believe he's responsible for any more, but we as a precautionary measure, we always go back and we always look at previous cases just to make sure.
Thank you very much. Say it. James William
Prince George's
Diggs.
County Police have a big announcement today. They are announcing the arrest of a suspected rapist in the county. They have in custody 48-year-old James Diggs from Bladensburg. There have been 4 recent attacks, some of them dating back to September and October, the last one happening last week. And all the attacks happened near each other, close proximity, and similar in nature, with the suspect preying on young women. So big arrest there in Prince George's County. We'll keep on top of this story and have a report with our Brad Bell in our next hour.